For over a decade, Andres Palomeque was untouchable. As Abismo Negro, he was the undisputed king of the Martinete, the ruthless leader of Los Vipers, and a pop culture phenomenon who breathed literal fire into AAA. But behind the terrifying mask and the sold-out arenas, he was fighting a very real and very human battle that he tragically couldn't win. Today I want to share with you what's the story behind Abismo Negro.
Una mala noticia, esta noche falleció el luchador Abismo Negro, tenía 37 años de edad, paro cardíaco, su nombre real Andres Palomeque.
Before he was the master of darkness, Andres Palomeque was actually a heartthrob. He wrestled in the early days of AAA as Winners, a fan favorite tecnico who drove the crowds wild. But after losing his mask to Supercaló at Triplemania 3, he needed a reinvention. In 1997, AAA founder Antonio Peña flipped the script. Winners was gone. In his place emerged a cheating, aggressive rudo or heel in a terrifying black mask known as Abismo Negro.
Yo soy Abismo Negro, el mejor rudo, Viper Extreme, Triple L.
As soon as you saw him come out of the curtain, you knew that this guy was different. He didn't just walk to the ring, he brought literal fire to the ring. Armed with nothing but a simple lighter and an aerosol can, Abismo Negro would blow massive balls of fire into the air. It was a dangerous, spectacular visual that made him look less like a wrestler and more like a comic book supervillain brought to life. He instantly commanded your attention and your fear. To cement his status as the ultimate rudo, Abismo weaponized the most taboo move in Lucha Libre, el Martinete. In Mexico, the pile driver isn't just an illegal move. It's treated as a lethal weapon, an automatic disqualification that can end careers. Abismo didn't care. He used it to terrorize his opponents and send them out on stretchers. The most infamous example was his brutal attack on TV host Jorge Brennan, a moment so shocking it left fans in the arena sobbing. The ruthless streak earned him a title he would carry to the grave, el Rey del Martinete, the king of the pile driver. Abismo Negro quickly became the backbone of AAA's main event scene. He won the Mexican National Middleweight Championship and captured the prestigious Rey de Reyes tournament in 2000. He also was the co-founder of the legendary stable Los Vipers, probably AAA's most influential rudo faction that still to this day is being replicated by AAA with other luchadores. But Abismo Negro's charisma was too big to be contained inside a ring. He became a massive pop culture icon, crossing into mainstream Mexican daytime television. He was a regular on hit shows like Vida TV and Se Vale, but he didn't break character. When they needed a judge for the talent contest segments, Abismo stepped up. He played the role of the unforgiving, brutally strict critic who tore contestants apart. His harsh, uncompromising judgments on national TV earned him another legendary nickname, El Fiscal de Hierro, the Iron Prosecutor. Despite the mainstream success, Palomeque was battling intense personal demons. As he started missing shows due to his struggles, AAA punished him by introducing Black Abyss, an evil clone designed to replace him. I find it a little bit funny that Black Abyss is just the Abismo Negro name translated to English. And since Abismo Negro was already a rudo, a heel, he already used to wear black clothes, so when Black Abyss came, they looked exactly the same most of the time. They were locked in a bitter feud destined for a mask versus mask match. Tragically, we never got that ending. And his last match ever would in fact be against this evil version of his character, perhaps reflecting the internal struggle he was facing. To understand the tragedy of Abismo Negro, we have to cut through years of rumors, internet myths, and exaggerated stories. The reality of his final days is much more grounded and far more heartbreaking. The unraveling began in mid-March 2009. Andres was carrying an immense emotional burden. His wife was battling cancer, he was exhausted, and those close to him noted he fell into a severe depression. Following a Tuesday night match in Mazatlan, Andres didn't travel to his next tour date. Instead, he locked himself inside his hotel for days. Andres was alone, battling his own severe internal demons and spiraling into a substance-induced crisis. Out of money and having missed several flights, local promoter Vicente Martinez and fellow luchadores intervened. eventually buying him a ticket to a bus heading to Mexico City on Friday evening. But during the dark overnight drive, a massive panic attack took hold. Paranoid, terrified, and hallucinating, he demanded the driver stop the bus on a desolate stretch of highway. He ran off into the pitch black. The last communication anyone received was a chilling text message to his wife, saying that he was lost in the hills. Blinded by the darkness, Andres had fallen down a steep embankment into a deep, muddy pit. Tangled in the thick vines and completely exhausted, he tragically drowned. The king of the Martinete was gone. But in the chaotic world of Lucha Libre, the show never stops. In a bizarre and deeply controversial twist, while Andres was missing and fighting for his life in Sinaloa, a date still needed to be fulfilled in Cancun. Rumors circulated that another wrestler was quietly slipped under the Abismo Negro mask that weekend to take a quick beatdown and cover the absence. Recently, Laredo Kid has confirmed that he was the one that went out as Abismo Negro that night, shutting down rumors that said Andres had fulfilled his last date even from the other side. And the story of Abismo Negro didn't end in that river that night. Fast forward to today, and AAA, in a classic AAA move, has handed the character Abismo Negro Jr. to another luchador who is not related at all to the original Abismo Negro, Andres Palomeque. However, Palomeque's biological son, wrestling under the name El Fiscal, or the Prosecutor, a direct tribute to his father's TV days, is currently advocating for the chance to take the name he says belongs to him. What we're seeing now is a deeply personal, violent blood feud. It's a war between a company trying to keep a valuable IP alive and a real son fighting to protect his father's sacred legacy. Mexican fans have been pleading with AAA to get a winner-takes-all match at Triple Mania, a match where Abismo Negro Jr. and El Fiscal wrestle each other to see who gets to take the name and the mask of Abismo Negro, hoping that El Fiscal takes the win. I also want to mention that there are luchadores who say El Fiscal is the exact imprint of his father Abismo Negro. And those of us who saw his father wrestle and now are seeing him perform can attest to the uncanny similarities in their moves and charisma. Abismo Negro still to this day is remembered as one of AAA's greatest rudos. What other luchadores would you like me to cover in future videos? Let me know in the comments and I'll see you in the next video.